Good morning, and we start with breaking news this morning coming into us here in the last hour or so. An AirAsia flight travelling from Indonesia to Singapore has gone missing after losing contact with air traffic control. Indonesian transport authorities confirmed there are at least 155 people on board the missing aircraft, which was en route from the city of Surabaya in East Java to Singapore. The exact number of people on board is still unclear. Some reports suggesting up to 162 people were on board. That may well be passengers and crew included. Well, Indonesian television is reporting the flight was carrying 149 Indonesians, 3 Koreans, 1 Briton, 1 Singaporean and 1 Malaysian on board. The AirAsia flight is an Airbus A320-200 and its flight number is QZ8501. It lost contact with the Jakarta air traffic control at around 7:30 in the morning local time, so that's around 5 hours ago. The Indonesian transport minister said the plane had asked for an unusual route before it lost contact. And the usual flight time from Surabaya to Singapore's Changi Airport is just over 2 hours. Well, in a statement on its Facebook page, AirAsia said the following. AirAsia Indonesia regrets to confirm that flight QZ8501 from Surabaya to Singapore has indeed lost contact with air traffic control at 07:24 hours this morning. At the present time, we unfortunately have no further information regarding the status of the passengers and crew members on board, but we will keep all parties informed as more information becomes available. The aircraft was an Airbus A320-200 with the registration number PKAXC. The statement goes on to say, at this time, search and rescue operations are in progress, and AirAsia is cooperating fully and assisting the rescue service. It goes on, AirAsia has established an emergency call centre that is available for family or friends of those who may have been on board the aircraft. That number is +62 212 985 0801. So a reminder of the breaking news that an AirAsia plane, flight QZ8501, travelling from Juanda Airport in Surabaya, that's East Java, Indonesia, travelling to Singapore, a flight path of just 2 hours, normally just over 2 hours, has lost contact with air traffic control at around 7:30 this morning, local time, some 5 hours ago. Mixed reports, 155 to 162 people on board. That's possibly the highest number, including crew as well as passengers. And we are hearing that 1 Briton is among those on board. As soon as we have any more information on that, we will, of course, bring it to you here first on Sky News.
Well, breaking news coming in. According to media reports, AirAsia has crashed in the Belitung Islands in Indonesia. According to CCTV News, the wreckage has been found in Belitung, but there has been no confirmation from AirAsia yet. I'd like to repeat that these are local media agency reports which have not yet been confirmed by AirAsia. There are 162 people on board the QZ8501. The details that we're getting as per local media reports is that the wreckage of AirAsia has in fact been found. According to the reports, the AirAsia aircraft crashed in the Belitung Island in Indonesia. According to CCTV News, the wreckage has been found in Belitung, but there has been no confirmation from AirAsia yet. There are, remember, 162 people on board flight QZ8501, which was bound to arrive in Singapore at 8:30 a.m. Deputy Editor Smita Sharma now joins me live for more. Smita, what's the latest information that you have?
Well, the news doesn't seem to be very heartening at the moment, Rishika, because, as per the airline release, of course, they say that the rescue operations are on and that the Jakarta air traffic control really lost contact at 7:54 hours as far as this airline was concerned, which has 16, women, one infant, total of 6 crew members, of course, all the passengers and various nationalities. But there are unconfirmed reports at the moment coming in, of course, often, various media organizations also informing about a separate air crash which seems to have happened close to Indonesia. We do not know whether these two incidents are related as of now or not. Okay. That is something that with the dots will have to be connected. But for now, of course, rescue operations being pressed into services.
All right, rescue operations have in fact been pressed into service. A local press release that was in fact given out by the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore seems to suggest that 2 C-130s are in fact already on standby for this purpose. The Singapore Rescue Coordination Center, managed by the Civil Aviation Authority of Singapore, and supported by various agencies including the Air Force and the Navy in Singapore, have in fact been activated and have offered to help the Indonesian authorities in search and rescue operations. Also, for the benefit of our viewers, I'd just like to take you through the latest statement that AirAsia has in fact put out. AirAsia Indonesia regrets to inform that flight QZ8501 from Surabaya to Singapore has lost contact with the ATC at 7:24 hours. This morning, the flight took off from Runda International Airport in Surabaya at 5:35 this morning. The aircraft was an Airbus 320-200 with the registration number PKAXC. There were 2 pilots, 4 flight attendants and 1 engineer on board. The captain in command, remember, had a total of 6,100 flying hours, and the first officer a total of 2,275 flying hours. There were 155 passengers on board. That is what AirAsia is confirming. Out of the 155 passengers, 138 adults, 16 children and 1 infant. There were also 2 pilots and 5 cabin crew members on board. The nationalities of the passengers and crew members are basically, there's 1 Singaporean, 1 Malaysian, 3 South Korean, and 157 of them are believed to be Indonesian. My colleague Pankaj Upadhyay now joins me live for more. Pankaj, there are unconfirmed reports at this point in time that seem to suggest that flight QZ8501 has in fact crashed. But AirAsia, of course, not confirming that as of now.
Rishika, since we had a chat last time, just trying to gather some of the possibilities or things which probably could have gone wrong with the plane with the various aviation experts. And I've been able to jot down some of the possibilities. One, the aviation experts contend that if at all there was an explosion in the sky, then definitely it would have been known. There would have been debris around. Nothing has been found as of now. We are also learning that 2 C-130s have been out for the search operations. Airbus 320 is a huge and sophisticated aircraft. It simply just cannot vanish like that. Secondly, the question that we are looking at, whether there was an engine failure, because after a point of time when it was asking for a low descent at around 200 nautical miles from Singapore, Jakarta, FIR boundary, that is the flight information region, it lost its contact. Now, if there was a technical problem, the pilot would have called for help. There is no distress signal that the report has suggested as of now. So this raises a lot of questions as well, because as far as A320s are concerned, they have automatic systems to give out data on the engine information as well. Third biggest possibility that is being raised here is that perhaps the aircraft would have deviated from the flight path. Now, if that would have really happened, cruising at around 35,000 feet, the plane can still glide, Rishika, to around 80 to 90 miles even after losing power. So if that had happened, the pilots would have been in control even from that point of time, and they could have really sent out the signals as well. And the maintenance base of A320 would have known of the same. That has also not happened. Reports are not suggesting anything in this direction as well. then another possibility is, and the big question that is being raised right now by the expert is that why didn't the radar cover the airplane? Now, this is what we are learning through our sources and the reports is that it lost contact at 7:24 local hours when it was at Indonesian Flight Information Region, that is the FIR, and that's 200 nautical miles of Singapore, Jakarta, FIR boundary. Now, this is not an isolated place, it is a well-traveled route. So, it just cannot disappear like that. But one thing is also there that we had learned through the unfortunate scenario of MS-370 that the radar coverage isn't really great over water. But then, even if that was the concern, even if the coverage, if you were to believe, was not good, then the pilots definitely get in touch with the various radio frequencies. As I was maintaining last time, around the entire world is divided into sectors, and there is umbrella of satellites over the skies. There are sensors everywhere. So for a plane to just disappear like that, it is practically impossible. Then lastly, believing that the plane became uncontrollable, even if hypothetically thinking that if there was rapid depressurization, the pilots would have donned their oxygen mask, they would have descended and could have made a call. But that also did not happen. And if I may also add, with that we have satellite phones inside the plane that can the pilots can really get in touch with the base. There are airborne communication and addressing systems that sends out links about the health of the aircraft. So all speculations at this point of time, nothing concrete. Time is of great essence right now. We are learning that crisis center has been set up, but concerns, Rishika, definitely are increasing as time is passing by because no concrete information is coming out right now.
Right, there is no concrete information and no confirmations to the local media reports. The latest press release by AirAsia says that the aircraft was on the submitted flight plan route and was requesting deviation due to en route weather before communication with the aircraft was lost while it was still under the control of the Indonesian air traffic control. So this is pretty much, Pankaj, what we've been saying since the morning, that there was a requested deviation in the route plan owing to the turbulence in the weather in that region.
That's also right. Transponder is technically speaking, which is at the nose of the aircraft, which really helps avert the collisions, which gives the signals about the other aircraft in the vicinity. Now, that's just even hypothetically thinking that there was a bird hit, and even if the pilot was not in a position to find about the same, the ATC definitely knows about the exact position of the aircraft. And in a scenario when the pilot is not able to get in touch with the ATC on its own separates the other aircraft. And as I said, even thinking of a scenario that the pilot had lost power, it still could glide to 80 to 90 miles even after losing power, and it could have definitely got in touch with the ATC. And even if you were to believe that the transponder was switched off, it is not a device, as I said, that you just simply push a button and switch off the transponder. It has to be crushed completely. And if that is the scenario, then this is serious. But as we maintain, again, these are all reports.
Right, absolutely. As we've been pointing out to our viewers, all of these reports are in fact in the realm of speculation. The Jakarta-based Guardian contributor has also put it out on local media outlet that the plane has crashed in Belitung, an island between Java and Sumatra. The report, of course, is yet to be confirmed by officials. Now, these are all unconfirmed reports that are trickling in at this point in time. Various news agencies in Indonesia reporting that the AirAsia flight, which lost contact at 7:24 a.m., has in fact crashed in Belitung. But Headlines Today cannot confirm any of those reports at this point in time because AirAsia, in their latest statement, have not mentioned any such thing. But there has been a latest update that has been issued by the Civil Aviation Authority, which claims that the Air Force and the Navy have been pressed into service. We, of course, will continue to track developments on this big story. 16 children, remember, on board that flight, 162 passengers on board, the fate of those passengers at this point in time is unknown.